Hey everyone. So, Shrek the Third is one of the most average and disappointing movies DreamWorks has made. And you'd think, well, how could they go downhill so fast after the first two? Well, here's how. One of the first things you'll notice is that it's the only Shrek movie that doesn't start with a book reading. And while you'd think that shouldn't matter, you can definitely tell a quality difference between this one and the other three. And not 5 minutes into the movie, and the goddamn dronkies are here. And if you don't know what those are, well, I can't help you. For whatever reason, they are the animal hybrid babies of Donkey and the Dragon. I just don't know. They look like they're from that one episode of Family Guy where Stewie and Brian have crossbred children that do not look right and start just falling apart. It's just so weird. So at the start, they make Shrek and Fiona help out around the castle, and Shrek just straight up kills someone, which is probably one of the best parts of the movie for it actually being hilarious, unlike the rest of the movie. And in addition to this really simple and underwhelming start, Shrek struggles to just itch his ass for no reason. And then the king dies from a slow and annoyingly directed scene. The king wants Shrek and Fiona to take the throne, but says there's another heir. This is Fiona's cousin, Arthur. The frog had 2 death fakeouts, which is just a bit much for an animated movie, and when he dies, he's sent off in a shoebox. We then see Charming rally up villains from the Poison Apple to take over the kingdom. He wants to put on a play to show that he's the right king for Far, Far Away, and wants to kill Shrek as part of it. Yeah, that's his entire plan for the whole movie. So Shrek then sets off to get Fiona's cousin Arthur to become the new king of Far, Far Away. Donkey says bye to his mentally impaired fusion animals that should not exist. As they're leaving, Fiona tells Shrek she's pregnant, and he doesn't really know how to respond. That night, Shrek has 2 nightmares about ogre babies, and both are kind of horrifying and funny. There's also been 2 Shrek ass shots so far, and I just don't know why.
Dada!
Shrek says that he's nervous about having kids, and his friends try and be there, but it's just not reassuring at all. They definitely don't focus much on him trying to be ready for parenthood, and I think it's a missed opportunity and wasn't very focused on throughout the entire movie. They then arrive at a medieval high school with potheads, cheerleaders, jocks, and nerds, and one of them has headgear in the medieval times, which cannot be accurate. I mean, there's no way they had dental insurance back in those times. The high school students are all simple and annoying as usual, and people there are just asshats. Shrek tells Arthur he's the new king, and he tries to give a rousing speech, but the students, and honestly the audience, don't take him seriously since all we've seen is him getting bullied. We then finally cut to Fiona having a baby shower, where Snow White gives her a gift, which is one of the 7 dwarves, which I think, confirms slavery and human trafficking in the Shrek universe.
Oh, think nothing of it. I've got 6 more at home.
The scene is interrupted by Prince Charming just bomb rushing in the city with witches and villains and shit, and he just storms the castle to instantly kidnap the princesses. So, after crashing the ship on the way back, Shrek tries to talk to Arthur with modern lingo, and it's just the most cringe as fuck scene possible. They then come across Merlin, and he's just a fucking crackhead. It's just stupid, and he's just very over the top. And Shrek and Arthur finally have a decent conversation in this goddamn movie. And Arthur is saying, his dad left, and Shrek has some great lines, but they still don't feel the most impactful, since the rest of the movie has been extremely shallow. They both didn't seem to have any connection until now, so it's kind of hard to feel like they have any real meaningful connection between them.
You know, it may be hard to believe, what with my obvious charm and good looks, but people used to think I was a monster. And for a long time, I believed them. But after a while, you learn to ignore the names that people call you, and You just trust who you are.
For what it's worth, though, I really like the lines Shrek had in this scene. I think it was just the best written part of this entire movie, and it's just such a deep and meaningful message from him. The princesses try and sneak through a secret tunnel, but Rapunzel betrays them because she needs the D from Prince Charming, and Charming has them all imprisoned. Well, when Shrek and Donkey and Arthur all wake up the next day, Arthur fake cries to convince Merlin to do a spell to transport them back to far, far away, but messes up and ends up switching the minds of Puss and Donkey. They do make it back to far, far away, but they instantly get captured. And yes, Donkey tries the cute Puss in Boots face, but it doesn't work, and it's just so fucking stupid. Thankfully, we're towards the end of this goddamn movie, and Charming's play starts, and I mean, I don't know why Charming was so dead set on presenting a play in order to kill Shrek, but like, okay. Soon enough, everyone busts in and is ready to save the day, but Charming calls all the villains, and Gingy gets scared and just poops a gumdrop, and it's just like, why? At some point, Arthur shows up and just asks if violence is the only way to stop this. And all of the villains, including me and my friend watching the fucking movie, raised our hand. I don't ever physically interact with a movie on the screen, but this somehow was one of the exceptions. Arthur is going on a speech about inspiring the villains to do the thing they dreamed of, and they all just throw down their weapons, and that's how they stop them. And I'm like, that's just so fucking stupid. Charming is still upset and wants to kill Shrek, and so he stabs him, and for a moment you think he's gonna die. But, of course he missed. Like, what? I just can't with this movie anymore. Like, how the fuck do you miss? It's just the worst and most convenient way to end this movie. Charming is then smashed by the tower, and Arthur takes the crown for himself. And they end the movie with Shrek feeling okay about being a parent and taking care of his kids with Fiona. Like, it doesn't feel like a very satisfying ending, and it's unfortunately just a filler movie for Shrek to have kids now. For the most part, this movie is very simple and comedic and not well written at all. And Rumpelstiltskin is actually shown front and center on the screen twice, even though he's completely changed and redone in the next movie. And unfortunately, I could just pretty much sum up the movie in two sentences, and that's Shrek sets out to get Arthur as the new king, and he does, and Charming has a revenge play where he wants to kill Shrek, but fails and dies. That is genuinely what fucking happens, and it's just so pointless. Honestly, none of the characters had any arc, and this was kind of just a waste of a Shrek movie. Well, with that being said, I think I give this movie a very unfortunate 2 out of 10. I would have liked to like Shrek the Third, but the movie gave me nothing to like, and that's kind of hard to fight with, to be honest. But that's going to be my review for Shrek the Third. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, feel free to like and subscribe down below and tell me if you guys hated the movie as much as I did. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more movie reviews in the future, and I'll see you guys all later.